Hi YouTube, my name is Kendall Maxwell and I am the marketer and advertiser at Fingerprint Farms. I'm sure you're wondering what Fingerprint Farms is. We are a regenerative farm out in Cleburne, Texas, and we are family owned and operated. So there is a family of 5, my parents, I have an older and a younger sibling, and then we have a couple of our grandparents out on the farm with us. So we have come out here and kind of had a change in our lives. We grew up in kind of suburbia type areas. And so a few years ago, we moved out onto the farm and we have been doing agriculture, regenerative agriculture since we've come out here. There were just a lot of things that led to the changing of our lives. My dad, he is the mitochondria, the powerhouse of our farm. And he definitely kick-started the changes that we have been making in our food system. And so how we raise our animals, and we run a meat market, so we sell what we raise, and we are trying to do a clean source of food for our community. And now we are trying to share what we are doing on the farm with our community as well. We just started a farm tour, so I have some clips and bits that came from the farm tour. I'll show you some of the animals that we have out here. We would really like to do a hands-on education for people. It really changes your life to get to be a part of this stuff. We have covered ourselves in chemicals for the last 30 some odd, 50 years. And it's interesting to see how raising animals healthy leads to a healthier life. And I believe that that is available for other people as well. We are Christians. We believe that this is God's purpose for us to share what we are learning out here. He has created such a beautiful world for us to be a part of and for us to live in and for us to take care of and to steward. And we have really had just big eye openings when we started doing this kind of work, because it just reminds you of His creation all the time and everything. And if you steward it well, it just grows so abundantly and full. So we are interested in sharing that with the world. We've got a lot of other things that we do that you can do at home. And so we encourage you to want to get involved and to want to participate. And like I said, I've got an older and a younger brother. They work out here on the farm as well. We have a lot of different jobs and different roles, so I will introduce you to them and you will get to meet the two of them, Cole and Hayden, and then Kevin is my dad. And then my mom, she works full-time still, but she does a lot in our garden, so you'll see her in the garden. And myself, I will be mostly behind the camera. That is kind of my passion, is to be behind the camera. So you might see bits and pieces of me. You might hear from me more frequently, just my voice, who knows, we'll see how it goes. But I'm really excited. I just am happy to get to put this out there, and we hope that it encourages other people. Like I said, my dad, he sits online, or he watches videos online, and we apply knowledge from men that have been doing, and women that have been doing this far before us, and they encourage us and help equip us, and we would like to participate in that and help do that for our community. Knowing your farmer is basically the only way to tell if you are getting healthy food or not. I can't think of any other way for you to know more securely that this is clean, by knowing where it came from, by getting to participate in it. We are growing food in the garden. We'd like to have some community built around gardens and harvesting, and then you have the animals, the diversity of animals, the diversity of the microorganisms, all the different science parts that fit into what we're doing out here. There's just so much to talk about and so much to explore and discover, and so that is what we are looking to do. Like I said, I've got bits and pieces from the farm tour, so you'll get to hear a little bit from my dad, kind of the baseline of what we do out here. And I might either put it all in there or give you bits and pieces. I'm not exactly sure. So we are looking to get started, get crafty, get creative, and we are just super excited, and we hope that you will follow us and follow along on our journey and obviously participate. If you can come out here when we start doing farm tours more regularly, that is just wonderful. So yeah, we'll get started and get going. Bye, y'all.
Everybody's good. They're our guardian dogs.
Yeah.
There's no hope for hope. Well, there used to be an old house here, right where my mom's house is at. And I think this was their kind of patio area. There used to be an old fire pit for a grill there, and it had just was completely overgrown. And last year I got to looking at this. We were planting the Vachardon out here, and I was like, man, that would make a really cool place to bring people into. So we started cleaning up the trees. This was just overgrown completely from end to end. But anyhow, welcome to Fingerprint Farms. We're really happy to have you guys here today. I don't know if any of y'all heard me talk last time, but we do regenerative farming out here. We don't use any chemicals at all. No herbicides, pesticides, fungicides, fertilizers. No hormones on the animals. No vaccinations on the animals. We don't worm any animals. We keep the animals on fresh ground all the time so that they don't pick up parasites to have to worry about. So we're standing here in the middle of what I call the Vachardon. It is my idea of a vineyard inside an orchard inside a garden. That's kind of the first section of it we planted last year. We have all kinds of fruit trees: apricots, peaches, pears, plums, pomegranates, figs, planted around the perimeters of it. I've got grapevines that grow through the center of it. And then we do garden in the triangular sections. And we'll walk over there and y'all can see how we laid that out. I'm changing that this year. We're going to plant a second planting in the Vachardon. We're going to use a linear pattern just to make maintenance on it a little bit easier. It's just kind of overwhelming to get in there and do every single thing by hand, especially when it comes out into this section that's going to be quite a bit bigger the next year. Anyhow, this is going to be another section of the Vachardon. Next year we'll plant it, but I put the hay down. It's suppressed the grass. I went through it the first time 2 days ago with the tiller to start working that stuff into the soil. Then we're going to plant here in the next month or so what we call a milpa garden. It is a South American style it's really just an ancient planting method, but it's like the permaculture style that we did the Vachardon in. It's got corn, it's got sunflowers, you do squashes, watermelons, cantaloupes, okra, and it's all just broadcast seeded. So that'll come up. It encourages beneficial insects, bees. It gives pollinators a lot of food to feed on. Because I don't use chemicals, my vineyard failed twice out there as much as anything from grasshoppers coming in and eating everything. I can't spray anything, or not any pesticides. I spray some, they call it Surround. It's a kaolin clay that causes it to be crunchy if they bite on it, so they don't want to chew it. Spray garlic oil over the whole thing. It smells like a bowl of pasta. That kind of distracts them for a little bit, but on baby grapevines, they'll just eat them to the ground. What we found last year, we had grasshoppers again. They ate some of my fruit trees, but I've managed to get my baby grapevines through the year so that this year, getting to the 2-year-old vines, they will have a much better chance of survival with the grasshoppers. When you got 5 leaves on a little bitty vine like that, one grasshopper can take it out in the blink of an eye. So we do all of that mostly because it's soil health that we're driving towards. I don't know if y'all felt what this feels like when you're walking on it, how soft this ground feels. When you stop spraying glyphosate to kill weeds, which is Roundup basically, you stop putting the nitrogen fertilizers, that has a tendency to sterilize the soil. It also causes the plants to quit exuding root exudates into the soil that feed the microbes, so microbes die off because the plants are getting what they need from this artificial nitrogen. And it really disrupts the whole cycle of life that you're going through on the farm. So without any fertilizer, we grow every bit as much as anybody around us is growing right now. I managed to run 120 head of cattle out here on this 325 acres. We've got 50, 60 sheep, 300 chickens out there. In those little white huts that you see out there, those are what we call chicken tractors. Cole goes out and moves those. Those are meat laying birds. and he moves them forward one length of that chicken tractor every day so that they're grazing fresh grass, eating all the bugs and stuff. Produces a really clean, healthy chicken to eat. The egg layers, we don't move them as often. We got a big electric net around them. We'll move them around the pasture so that we keep them on fresh ground as well. And then we do non-GMO grains on all of them so that they don't have any of the yucky stuff on the feed that's going into them. The cows are back here behind us. And when we're dealing with the cows, this is what we use to work the animals with. Basically, we're going to take an electric fence line like this, string it out across the pasture. I'm going to hook a solar energizer to it or a permanent energizer to it, electrify it. That allows us to move those animals onto fresh grass every single day. Sometimes during the summer when it's really growing, we're going to go 2 or 3 times a day to keep them mowing that grass down and getting as fat as we can possibly get them. We use the little 4-wheelers to move around the ranch. So it's compared to a lot of farms where you see giant tractors and plows and things like that running around, we use a little tractor like that to run around here, haul hay. I just got the little tiller because we were doing this stuff out here. So that's the first time we've tilled. But the big thing with this is that we're continually driving soil health. Our soils become healthier and healthier. Our plants become healthier because they're getting all the micronutrients from the bugs or bacteria and fungi that are in the soil that we encourage strongly to be there. And that makes the plants healthier. Our neighbors, the last couple of years, we've been getting the call from neighbors telling us that, you know, the army worms are down the road and they're coming, they're going to eat the ranch down. And 2 years ago, that call came and I was like, oh no, I don't want that. And then I remembered what one of the guys that I really follow, his name is John Kemp with Advancing Eco Agriculture. He said, if you've got a healthy plant, the larval form of these insects doesn't have a digestive system capable of digesting that plant. So they're not going to be able to do the damage that you would normally see. Now I see the little moth out there a little bit in the field, but we don't spray a thing on them and they do not eat our fields to the ground. Our neighbors are all out there spraying to kingdom come trying to save their grass, and it's because their grass is not healthy. It doesn't have all of the nutrients in it. So the bugs, they're really trash collectors. They're going to come out and collect the trash. If there's something sick, weak, taken down by drought, they're going to collect that. They're going to eat that to the ground. They really can't digest this. Even the grasshoppers, a healthy plant will deter them. It's not going to stop them completely. I found that out for sure. Water retention is a big thing. Once you get the plants cycling the root exudates into the ground, you're going to build up a carbon base in the ground, and the ground's going to get spaces between the soil and aggregation in there, and it's going to allow the water to soak in, and that carbon is going to hold that water in the ground. We had those 2 horrible droughts out here. Last year was great. The 2 years before that, we were basically droughted out. All my neighbors were out feeding hay by the middle of the summer. We did have to graze the whole ranch that year to make it work, but we grazed green grass all the way through the summer because our soil retained water in it that otherwise wouldn't have been available to us. Most of the soil compacts tight when you don't have the soil life in there, you don't have the carbon in there, and all your water runs off down the bar ditches. Now my ponds went dry during those things, mostly because they don't get any runoff because it all goes into this ground that we're standing on. So we can mitigate even drought issues with proper agriculture. I won't say proper, with this type of agricultural practice. You know, everybody has to make their own choices, what they want to do, how they want to farm. But the thing that I've learned, especially through my kids and some of the health issues that they faced and what we find out more and more all the time, is that these chemicals, they're not going to kill you on day one. from the first piece of corn that you eat that's genetically modified and sprayed with glyphosate to dry it out so they can get it to market on time. But a lifetime of that type of exposure hurts your gut microbiome. Inside us is the same thing that's in that soil. You want to take care of your gut microbiome so that it can cycle the nutrients that our body needs into our cells and take care of us. So that's the primary focus. That's the reason why I quit being an attorney to do this, is I saw how important it was for the planet. You see giant farms with huge equipment ripping and snorting across the land, tearing it wide open, leaving it exposed to the sun, taking out all what I see as God's plan for this planet, how he intended it to work, and trying to impose their will on it. And they're finding that they're losing that battle. They think on conventional farms, they're saying maybe 20 or 30 harvests they think they've got left before they can't put enough chemical on it to make it work. So we're trying to spread the word. That's why they're videotaping. We're starting a YouTube channel that we're going to do this on, and try and get a little bit more exposure for this type of agriculture out there. You'll see we got some trailers here. Y'all are welcome to go through this one. This is our latest version of the market trailer that we go. We go to farmers markets with that. We set it up like a little grocery store where you walk through, you shop, check out, go on down the road, instead of having to, we were doing it out of that big black one there, but it's really hard to handle that. This one's come in really handy. We're going to use this one up here as we're doing farm tours and stuff out here on the farm. So, Cole, if you want to go ahead and head out there and I'll answer Tracy's question when we came out here.
That's good though.
But they're like a bunch of dogs. They get used to you moving them. Normally it's in the morning, so I didn't know how they would react, but they're going with him.
Okay, so that's the end of our video. I'm so excited to get to post this, and yeah, I don't know how to tell people. They say like and subscribe and follow for more. Like the video, subscribe to the video, and yeah, follow for more farm content and more beautiful, oh, hi, creatures. She won't come. Come here. Ooh. Yeah, so what do we say? Goodbye from Fingerprint Farms. Adios. Bye, y'all. Bye, y'all.